Hey, my name is James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now, this channel is all about my investing journey. We're going to take you on a ride with us. The highs, the lows, the good, the bad of property investing. So we're also going to tell you and show you behind the scenes of my investment journey with my two daughters. We've got Georgia, who's 21. You can see on this channel already our first deal that we bought at auction in Doncaster. And my little baby, Emily, who's just 1. So to join us on this journey is very, very simple. You take that finger of power, you spin it round, you smash that subscribe button over there, and you hit that bell notification. Now, I wasn't expecting to make this video today, but I read the news when I woke up this morning, and it's crazy. House prices have gone up again. Like, they've gone up again. Which I just really wasn't expecting. Now, we're all expecting the market to cool off at some point because we've got rising interest rates, we've got inflation that's still very, very high, affordability and the cost of living crisis would logically mean that people are less likely to pay more for their properties at the moment. But we've still had a rise. Now, average house prices are now £271,000, which is crazy. So the average house price is £271,000, and obviously London's a lot more expensive. That southeast is more expensive, but then the north is relatively cheap. So let's talk about this. Now, house prices have gone up 11%. Year over year, 11%, which is just over inflation. That's crazy, right? Now, that's not sustainable. And as a property investor, of course, we want our house prices to go up. Of course we do. But we want it to go up in a measured way, really. If we're not doing any work on our property to increase the value, then we would prefer it to go up like 5-6% per year, not 11, because it's more likely to lead to a downturn at some point in the future. So the year rise is 11%, which is crazy. I want to know your thoughts and comments and questions on this, so do comment below while we're going through this. Now, it is slowing down though still. We've said this, famous last words, right? The market is slowing down. So this month it was 0.1%. I think that was the same as last month. So if you can see that, that means the majority of that 11% was front loaded. Like maybe we're looking at October, November, January, February, March, but it is starting to slow down. And so that annual figure, if we've only had 0.1% for the last 2 months, is gonna start to drop. And that's possibly a good thing as well. Now, lots of things are going on in the world. Obviously, we've got the war in Ukraine, and that's driving up energy costs, it's driving up food and commodities costs, and so people are concerned. And so there's a cost of living crisis at the moment, which the papers are talking about every single day, and so it logically makes sense that prices should slow down a little bit faster. Well, that doesn't always happen. And so in COVID, we thought that the market would crash. A lot of people thought the market would crash because it just made sense, right? There were people, businesses were shut, so obviously they're not getting income. People were out of work, but then they were getting paid on furlough. And a lot of businesses survived with this bounce back loan scheme, which is kind of what we're paying for with the inflation right now. So do you invest when the market is uncertain like this? Well, I do, and maybe you should too, because when you make your money in property is actually when you buy the property. And so what you're looking for is a property that is BMV, below market value. And so what you want to be buying as an investor is properties that need work. So if you bought a new house or a new flat, chances are that's a high risk property at the moment because it's peaked at its price, the market is slowing down to this kind of growth, and so potentially that could start going down, right? And if you bought a house for 400 grand and it goes down 1%, which isn't a lot, then your house is worth 4 grand less. And so that possibly could happen. Whereas if you bought a 100 grand house that could be worth 150 if you did it up, then you're not going to be worried about 1% drops, 2% drops, or even 5% drops, because you're going to create equity in that property. So we just bought the property with Georgia, my older daughter, that you may have seen. We bought it for 60 grand. We refurbished it for 12, and we got it revalued 100. So we created a lot of equity in there. So that deal, it doesn't really matter to us if the market dropped 15%, which the last two major crashes in the 90s and in 2008 were 15%, and they were big crashes. And so potentially, if we had a big crash again, we could drop 15%. We would still be okay because we've created that new equity in the property. So how can you get below market value deals? Well, there's lots of different scenarios. Maybe someone's had a family death and they've got a probate deal and they just want to get the cash out, so they want to sell it fast, and it's a property that's just old-fashioned and needs new work and stuff like that. That's a potential deal. One deal that I've got going through at the moment with Georgia, our second deal that we're doing, is a tired landlord. And so there's lots of new legislation out, and landlords, some people have big portfolios, and what we're looking at here is the energy performance certificates need to be up to level C by 2025 to be able to rent those out. Now, if you've got one or two properties and you've got to fix a few things with some insulation and double glazing, not a big deal. If you've got 100 and they're all below a C, suddenly that's now a major concern. And so there are landlords that are just looking to offload some of their portfolio to liquidate that asset, take that cash and then put it into the other properties they've got to get the EPCs up to a higher standard. And we've come across one of those, and that's what we're doing at the moment. We've got a guy that's got a property that's on an EPC of E. It's quite easily fixable to C, with a few little bits that need doing there, which we're fine with. And so we are going to take that property, and not this year, we're going to rent it out actually the first time round fairly quickly. But in a year, we will then focus on making that property up to a level C, because it doesn't need much work doing to that property at the moment. So that's another type of person that you could buy from. Now, auctions are another great place that you can find properties that are below market value. You need to do your research before you go into an auction. And what I'll do is I'll pin a video at the top, as the top comment on here, of when I bought at auction and what I did, right? So I just did lots of analysis, looking at the local area, looking at prices. We did lots of things before we even bid on the property. So we knew what we could pay, right? We knew what the renovations were going to cost, all of that stuff. And I think that would be really interesting for you to see behind the scenes of what we actually did there. And so do go and check out that video for sure. And so that is the market. So the market is growing 11%. It's slowed down the last 2 months significantly. So that annual figure is going to start dropping very, very soon. Can you still invest in this time? Yes. The fortune favors the brave, and the people that will make a lot of money are going to be the ones that invest heavily in a downturn. That is when you make your money in any type of investing. And so right now would be a smart thing to get educated and learn and just start taking action to get that stuff moving. Now, do make sure you like this video. And one thing that we've said recently is we're going to be running a live event on property education and teaching you how to invest in property very, very soon in London. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the description right near the top, and that's going to have a waiting list. So you can join the VIP waiting list so you know when that is happening. So all you need to do is just go down there, quickly fill in your email address and phone number, and we'll send you the details as soon as we've got the venue booked and everything that you need to know on that. So quickly make sure you click there. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in coming to London as well. So just so we know who's coming, we've got about 100 people that have already said that they're interested. So do make sure you register your interest here below, and I hope to meet you face to face. We've also got a Facebook group you can join in the description as well below. I'm James Nicholson. Stay blessed. Go and check out this video right here.